Hello and welcome. I'm Raghav, and today we are going to start to write our first test in Playwright. This is going to be very easy and very interesting, and I will show you step by step how to write the first test. And we will also see the syntax, the keywords, and the commands we use to run the test. And there will be a quiz. I will have the link for the quiz in the description of this video, and you can take the quiz and check your knowledge. Do let me know your score in the comment section below. And if you have any questions, you can let me know in the comments or the Q&A session below this video. And if you find this video slow, you can increase the pace of the video from the video settings. So with that, let's get started and let us see how to write our first test in Playwright. Now, step number one is we will create a new file under the test folder. So I will go to my Playwright project here, and we have already created this folder and started the Playwright project here. And here we have got a test folder created, and under the test folder we have all our test files. So we already have some sample tests here. So you can see these sample tests here. This is how we start. Let me show you. This is how we start. This is how we write the tests, and this is how we write the steps. Now do not worry, I'm going to start and show you from scratch. So I'm going to create a new file under the test folder. Now you can select the test folder, and then you can do a right click, and then here select new file. So you can do a right click and select new file, or the other way is you can select the test folder, and here is the icon to create a new file. So you can also click here. So when you click here, a new file will get created under that folder that you have selected, and here you can give some name. So I will say my first test, and then we say .spec.js and hit enter, and the new file is created. And now here we can start writing our Playwright test. Now the first thing is we have to include the Playwright test module into our script. Now if I show you, if I go to the node modules folder of my project, and you will see there is a Playwright test module or Playwright test package. This is what we need. And from this, we need some specific modules or specific scripts. So I will show you how to do that. So here I will say require. So require is a function. It's a Node.js function that is used to include modules which are present in external or separate files. And that is the case here. We want to include some modules which are present in separate files. So I will use require, and then I will give these codes, and then you can see I'm getting this auto suggestion here, Playwright test. So even if you're not getting, you can start typing or press Control space on your keyboard to get the auto suggestion box, and then select this Playwright test. And this will now include this Playwright test module and all its scripts inside this script. That is my first test. And now I can use any of the scripts, any of the modules under the Playwright test package. So this is good. However, out of all the packages and scripts under the Playwright test package, I just need the test and the expect modules. So again, if I show you, if I go to the node modules and go to Playwright test, and here, if I show you, if I expand and show you under the test, we have all these modules and scripts. Out of this, I just need the test script. This is test.js, and I need the expect. So test script will be used to create the test, the structure of the test, and expect is used to run the assertions or add any checks. These are the two things I need as of now. So for this, what I will do is, instead of importing or including everything, I just need these two. So I will say, I can say where or const. This is a keyword in JavaScript to declare a variable or a constant. So it's good that you declare a constant, because we don't want to change these variables or whatever we write here. We don't want to change it, or we don't want anybody or any script to change these values. So I will say const, and I will say test and expect, and then I will say equals this. So this is how we include the modules in a different script or a different module. So this is what you will do. And this is what is mentioned here as well in the notes. I will have all the notes in the description of this video, so you can always refer the description if you have any questions or any doubts. So require is a Node.js built-in function. So make sure it is not a JavaScript function. It is a Node.js built-in function, which is used to load modules present in separate files. And here we are loading test and expect modules from the Playwright package. So this is important. And if you allow me some more time, I can show you what exactly this is. Now, this is not what I'm going to tell you may not be very important from the automation point of view, but it will be very good if you understand how these importing and adding the module works. So let's say I will go to my test folder and I'm going to create one more folder here. So I will click on this. I can do a right click, new folder, or click on this icon, which will create a new folder, and I will give the folder name as demo. So I have created a new folder under the tests folder, and under the demo folder, I'm going to create a file. Let's say I will call it as hello.js. So I have created a JavaScript file hello.js under the demo folder. Now here, I'm going to create some functions. So in JavaScript, we say function. Now, do not worry if you do not know JavaScript. What I'm going to show is very, very easy, and you will get exactly what I'm doing. Just in case you want to know more about JavaScript and the basics of JavaScript, you can always go to my website, that is automationstepbystep.com. Let me show you very quickly. This is just if you want to study more JavaScript later on. Let me load this and see. Okay, here you can just search for JavaScript, and or you can just go to the programming section, and here under the programming you will see JavaScript. You can directly go on my YouTube channel as well, and you will see the JavaScript playlist. So this will again take you to the YouTube JavaScript playlist. And here you will see all the beginner tutorials on JavaScript. But for now, you can do this later if you want. But for now, coming back here, I'm creating a function. I will say function F1. You can give any name, and then you give these brackets and a curly bracket start and stop. This is how we declare a function. This is how we create a function. And here I'm just returning a string called hello. I can create one more function here. I will say function, and I will give it a name F2. And here I'm just returning a string called hello world. So in this module, in this script, hello.js, I have these two functions. Now, if I want these functions to be exposed, and if I want these functions to be included or imported in any other script or module, I will have to say exports. I will say exports, and I will give some name. Let us say hello, and I will make it equals to this function. Similarly, for this, I will say exports dot hello world. Now this name can be anything. It's not necessary that you give the name same as the function name or same as whatever I'm printing here. It can be anything. So now I am exporting these two functions using hello and hello world. And if I have to import it, if I have to add this in any other script, so I'm going back to my first test, and here I will say require, and I will give the location of the script or module first. So I will say dot and forward slash, and you can see I am able to see the demo folder, and it will give you auto suggestion. If the demo folder is even above the test folder, then I may have to use double dot, and then it will go one step up, and I can here see node modules and other tests folder, but it is within the test folder. So I will just give a single dot forward slash and select demo. And then from here, I will select the script or file hello.js. And then because from here, I just need the functions or the properties hello and hello world. So I will use const hello and hello world equals require from here. And as I told you, instead of const, I can use where as well, but where means variable, or I can say let. Let also is used to declare variable in JavaScript. But in that case, these will be, these can be changed later on, but I don't want these to be changed anywhere in the script. So I'm using const. And now I can now say hello, and I can call this function. When I call hello, it should call this f1 function. And if I say hello world, it should call this f2 function. Let us see. I will run this. And because this is now a test under Playwright, to run this, I can say, normally we can say node and give the location of the file. So if I say node, and let me try to say if it runs this node and the location of the file, that yes, this is running. And the reason it is not printing anything, because we have not printed anything here. So I will just say console.log, and then I will call this hello, and it should print whatever is returned from this hello function, which is hello here. So let me now save and run it. And you can see it is printing hello. Similarly, if I call hello world, I say console.log, and if I say hello world, and you can see I'm also getting auto suggestions now. So this should print hello world. So if I now again run this, you can see it is printing hello and hello world here. So this is how you can include or add modules, and I can actually import it as well. Instead of using this require statement, I can say import, and I can say hello and hello world from, again I will give the location of the file or the package demo hello. So if I do this, this will also work. So let me now remove all of this and come back to our test. This was for your knowledge and understanding. So we can do this, or we can say import. As I have shown you, we can say import test or expect from at Playwright Test. Now the next step is we will create our test function. Now Playwright library or Playwright package provides a test function and the expect function to write assertions, and that is what we have already included or imported in our script. So now let me show you. I will create a test block. So I will go and say here, I will create a test block, and we are also getting this auto suggestion. And the syntax is, in the test block or the test function, I will first give the title of the test, and then I will call a function. So here, let me give a title within quotes. I will say my first test, and then I will give a comma here, and then I will create a JavaScript anonymous function. And for that, we just give these brackets start and close, and then we create an arrow symbol by using equals sign and a greater than symbol. So this creates an arrow symbol, and then a curly bracket, start and stop. And you can press enter to move these stop brackets to the next line so that we get some space to write our test steps. So this is how we can create a test in Playwright. Okay. And here is the screenshot of the same thing. And you can see here, this is how we create the test. Now here, to create a browser test, we have to here pass a page fixture or a fixture called page. Now, do not worry. I will tell you more about this in detail in the coming sessions. But for now, just you have to go here and give a curly bracket start and stop and say page. This is a page fixture, and you can also see it is a coming from Playwright, and you can see it says isolated page instance created for each test page. Each test pages are isolated between test due to fixture content. So don't worry about all this. As of now, just create a fixture or just pass this page here within curly brackets. And then using this page object, I can now use the functions. So for example, I can say go to, go back, go forward. So go to is the command we use to visit a URL, and within the quotes, I will give the URL. So you can give any URL of your application. For now, I will just go to google.com. So I will say https://google.com. And now if I try to run this, so if I run this using the command npx, I hope you remember the command that we used to run the playwright test. It is npx playwright test. And because I want to run this specific file, I will give the file location or name. So I will say my first test.spec.js. And if I hit enter, let us see, I will also expand this so that you can see. And you can see there is a error here, and here it is saying, here you can see it is showing this error here, page.goto, and it has aborted. Now for this, what we'll have to do is I will have to use async keyword here, and here I will use await. Okay, so I'm using async and await. Now here the async keyword before any function makes the function to return a promise. Now promise is something, so let's say the function returns something, so we are actually waiting and we are making sure that this function returns something, returns a promise, and the await keyword before any function makes the function to wait for a promise. Now do not get confused here. In very, very simple words, JavaScript is a asynchronous programming language, and in very simple words, asynchronous means not happening at the same time. Now, if you do not use this, JavaScript by nature is asynchronous, that it will not wait for one thing to complete before starting the next thing. It will not wait for the first step to complete before starting the next step. But in our case, in automation testing, we want the execution to go sequentially, in the sense that the first step should complete and then only the next step should get executed. Now here, for example, if I do not use async and await, it will not wait for this page to get loaded completely and then move forward to the second step. It will just run this step, will not wait for the page to load completely and go to the next step. And it may happen that the page is not loaded completely and our next step will fail. And therefore we use await here and async so that all these functions will return some promise. Now, if you want, if you just go to this go to function, you can press Control or Command on your keyboard, Control key, and then this will turn into a link. And if you click here, you can see this is the function. And if you go down, you will see it should be returning some promise. So you can see it is returning a promise here. And therefore, we are using this async and await here. Await means this will now wait for the promise to be returned and then only it will go to the next step. So next, I can again say, I can use expect for any assertion, and I can now here say expect this page to have some title, and I can check it has the title. So I will say expect page dot to have, and you can see so many things here: to have length, property, to have title, and I will say the title should be Google. So in general also, if you go to Google, here the title of the page is Google. So this is what I will check. And now again, I will use await so that it waits for this to complete and then only moves to the next step. So I will now run and check again. I will save this, save the file, go to the terminal and clear the terminal. And I will press the up arrow on my keyboard to go to the last command and run the command. And let's see now. And yes, it is now running. And you can see it is running 3 tests. That means it is running on 3 browsers using 1 worker. And let me see, looks like some issue. Let me check the report. I'll also expand this, make it full screen so I can see all the logs here. So here it says there is some issue in the assertion. Okay, I think this is fine. We had made a mistake. I had made this mistake here. So expected was this, which was a typo from my end, and received is Google. So actually this is good that we are able to also check that it is all running fine. And let us see the report as well. So report, it is running here. And here also you can see it is saying expected was this, but actual was this. So I can go and change this and make it pass. So I will change this to Google. It was a typo here. It should be Google here. And now if I run, it should work fine. And I can also run in a headed mode so that you can see here. So I will say -- headed, and let us run and check now. So it should now run on a physical browser, and yes, it is going to Google and checking the title. It is done on Chrome. It is now running on Firefox, and then it will run on WebKit. And yes, it is running and everything is fine. Looks like everything is passed. And now you can check the report by running this command, or directly go to the report folder, which is Playwright report, and check the report from here. And you can see this toHaveTitle is coming from the expect script or module. Again, I can click on this. I can press Control on my keyboard and click here, and you can see it has gone here, and this must also be returning a promise. You can see it is returning a promise. And similarly, you will find a lot of assertions here. So if I show you, let me go here. Let me go to this expect here. I'm going to this Playwright test library. And here I will go to the lib and go to the expect.js. This is what we have included. And you can see here all these different assertions that we can use. So you will find all the assertions here. So we have to be checked, to be disabled, to be visible, to have title, to have count, to have text, to have ID. So all this we can use in our test in Playwright tests. So this is how we create test. If you want, you can take a screenshot of this screen and keep it handy with you and watch it multiple times, so that it will be very clear to you how to create tests in Playwright, and then you will be good with creating tests in Playwright. In the coming sessions, we will see more options, more ways, and more things to do with test, hooks, and all the other things that we can do with test. I hope this was very useful for you. Thank you for watching, and never stop learning.